Thank you, Phil. And I always say to our students when I address them that they should be confident and authoritative when they speak in public. But I'm so nervous here today. And I'm so nervous because, as Phil says, this is the most important thing that I and we have ever done as the class of 92, without a shadow of a doubt. It's a significant day. It's a significant day for our students, for their families, and for their friends. When we left Manchester United about 8 to 10 years ago, we decided to embark upon projects together and enter into a sort of life partnership and try and give things back into our local community, to pass on those learnings and those special moments that we'd had under Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. We wanted to create a university. It was a wild ambition when I first wrote the 10 simple things down on a piece of paper. But it had to be a university of hope, of opportunity and belief. To blend the best in academia with the best in industry. To allow those learnings that we had at Manchester United to somehow be taught in a higher education institution. And it shouldn't matter where you were born or the postcode that you lived in. It needed to be equal, inclusive and diverse. It needed to be in Greater Manchester, around the communities that have been so good to us. A stone's throw away from Old Trafford, where all our dreams came true. And most importantly, to unlock your greatness. We say quite often at UA92 that that piece of paper that you'll get today will enable you to get an interview. But it's your character and your personality that you've developed at this university which will make you different and get you the job. There are some big thank yous to our board and our leadership team for continuing to hold true the values from 10 years ago when I first wrote them down on a piece of paper. You're committed to UA92 and certainly are putting more time in, particularly Marnie and Greg, than I ever explained that you would do. To our brilliant team UA92 who execute our vision and our values every single day and have shaped your experiences in this last 3 years, thank you so much. To our innovative UA92 partners, it was fundamental to us that you had industry experience and that we co-designed our curriculum here with industry partners, and that is happening, and we've got some wonderful partners here in the room today. But our biggest thanks is to you, the brave and bold class of 2023, our students. Today our theme, as you may have gathered, is about brave and bold, and that is because of you. And when I started to write these words down for this speech earlier on in the week, I actually looked at the words brave and bold and thought that they can be quite overbearing and quite overpowering. And it's not always that way. So I split them into 5 key components. The first, the obvious one, making that big decision, that big change in your life. And you did that 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, when you chose our university. There were more established institutions. We didn't have a proven track record, but you decided to be bold and brave and choose us. And for that, we can't thank you enough. Number 2, sometimes it's brave and bold. Hello? Sometimes it's brave and bold just to carry on and to persist and stick to your guns when you've made a decision and maybe others around you are doubting you. You maybe did that in lockdown or felt that in lockdown when you joined this university in the midst of a global pandemic. You were learning online. That's not what you signed up to. We talk here about face-to-face contact and mentoring and coaching, but that's not what was being delivered. But you continued, you persisted, and you were bold and brave. The third one is the opposite of that, where you may need to stop something pretty quickly after making a decision. We all make mistakes. We all make choices that are not so good in our lives. The most important thing is that we learn from them and we correct them as quickly as possible, and we're brave enough to do that. Very recently, I closed down a restaurant in Manchester that had only been open 4 months, that we opened with such vigour and enthusiasm. But I recognised the mistake straight away and I had to close it down, which obviously is really disappointing. But these are the types of decisions that you, the graduates, will have to make at some point in your life. The fourth one is about being brave and bold in moments of adversity. Sometimes your personal life, there can be a lot going on, and when you go into your university or school or in your workplace, no one knows what's really happening in your personal life. The saddest moment in my life was 8 years ago when my dad passed away. And everyone in this room will have had moments like that where they've been touched by it. And we have two choices, and that's to carry on or to stop. But everyone in this room carries on. We are resilient, we are tough, and certainly our class of 2023 are. And the last one and final one is about brave and bold, being brave and bold when you're uncertain and you're not sure, and you need time to breathe and to delay and to make a decision over a longer period of time than straight away. At the end of my Manchester United career, I was uncertain. I knew I loved media, I knew I loved business, and I knew I loved sport. But I wasn't quite sure what it is I wanted to do, so I set off on exploring these three different areas and kept my options open. And there will be graduates sat in this room today who will know exactly what you want to do, the sector that you want to go into, the job that you want, the area where you want to live, and that's fantastic. You run for your lives. But there may be some graduates who are sat here in front of me today who aren't so sure. Don't worry about that either. I've been there, and you will be there again at some point in your life. The main thing is if the decision can't be made by yourself, that you go and seek help and understanding from colleagues, mentors, teachers, coaches to help you come to that final decision. And when you make a brave and bold decision in your life, it sometimes feels uncomfortable. In fact, it quite often feels uncomfortable. There are moments where your stomach churns, you get a little bit anxious, and sometimes you're a little bit jittery. That's completely normal. The more that it happens in your life, you'll get comfortable at feeling uncomfortable, and you'll get good at it. To conclude, I can't thank you enough for choosing UA92, and well done to you all for your hard work, your dedication, and your commitment in the last 3 years. You joined us in the midst of a global pandemic. And I want to introduce two new words to you today, which I think are more important than brave and bold, and I think become your life's greatest achievement, and that's consistency and reliability. To make sure that you can deliver your skill with passion, day in, day out, week in, week out, year after year for a long period of time. And at this moment, I'd like you to reflect on the people around you, your parents, your guardians, and your grandparents. Can you just imagine the good days, the bad days, the ups and the downs that they've had during their lives? They've worked for themselves, but they've also worked for you, and they've delivered. Our heroes are quite often sports people, musicians, actors, maybe nowadays YouTubers and TikTokers as well. But our heroes really sometimes are a lot closer to home. I want you to think about them today and what they've done every single day in their lives to get you where you are. As young people, we don't stop and think. We sometimes take for granted those around us, and we hear a lot about elite performance, being brave and bold, but don't forget consistency and reliability. And your parents, guardians and grandparents have worked for 30, 40, 50 years, dedicating their lives to their families and to you to enable you to be a success today. Consistency and reliability is what every employer wants, it's what every parent wants. And it's this foundation that will make you a success, along with all the characteristics and personality traits that you've worked on whilst you've been at UA92. I'll finish with the same words that I ended with last year, and that is to the brave and bold class of 2023, I love you all. Thank you.